Yeah, please.
Just a moment. I will give you the chance.
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Swati Chakraborty. I'm a platform moderator for Web Platform for Dialogue. And today we are going to start with our episode 12 with Dr. Aniruddha Burmon. He is a wonderful eminent scholar in the field of English. He is Associate Professor of English, B.Ed section, University of PT and Evening College, Coach Bihar. So today's topic is COVID-19 and the educational system, a paradigm shift. Sir, I'm going to hand over the session to you, and the session will be open for discussions after ending of your entire discussion. So I request all of you to kindly mute yourself, and if you have any question, you can write in the chat box directly to sir.
Yeah, excuse me.
So kindly unmute yourself. Yes. So kindly unmute yourself.
What the problem is? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me just go back to this. There was a slight problem, it seems. Yes. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, madam. It's a wonderful opportunity for me to speak to you on the topic of the change we see due to this COVID-19 situation. What we could do with this, what are the changes that can be made in the educational sector that has already come already. So quite a few of these things I'd like to discuss. And basically I have the data from UNESCO, which I'd like to share with you. We'll also discuss other things, what are the possibilities, what we have in our hand apart from what UNESCO suggested. Initially, I'd like to discuss this. See, we have already seen that there's a change in teaching learning situation. Earlier, the teaching was more of teacher-centric. But now what we find is teaching is not possible until unless learning takes place. So the focus is shifted from teaching to learning. So learning is more important. Just like the saying goes, you can take the horse to the pond, but the horse may not drink. The mother can put the food in the mouth of the child, but the eating part has to be done by the child itself. So there's a big change. And then we have seen that right from the face-to-face mode, how we have gone to the distance mode, and how we have gone to the ODL mode, open distance learning mode. My age is not a bar. My qualification is not a bar. I can learn just about anything I like. So I could combine anything. So all these things we have already seen. Now, due to this COVID-19, there are a lot of other challenges. What sort of challenges? I'm not too happy with this word social distancing. In fact, the sociologists do not like this either. So we call it physical distancing. So we cannot come close to the students. Students cannot come close to each other. It's very difficult for them to sit in the classroom within the four walls. So there's a big distance between the teacher and the taught. So now we've shifted our focus from the face-to-face mode, from the ODL mode or the distance mode, now to really online mode, the online classes, which we partly know because some of us are quite a bit habituated with this kind of system, maybe not everybody. Now I got some data from the UNESCO. It's very easy to find out. All of you can find out. I'll just skim through a few, and so that we can discuss more things. Now, the UNESCO suggested that there should be an agency, there should be a standing committee which can guide all this health and psychosocial well-being of the children. Now, the children are unable to go out to play. They're unable to go to schools. They're unable to socialize. They're just locked up inside just like others. Whereas we have been able to cope with the situation, for the children it's been very difficult. So there could be a psychosocial problem. So there should be a kind of a guidance for this. How should the teachers talk to them? How should the parents talk to them? All these things we need to learn these days. Now, what the UNESCO has suggested, these you can look up anywhere. So I'll just skim through. Digital learning management systems. There are quite a few of these here. I've personally used the Google Classroom, but I personally found it a little difficult. You have to go through the Hangouts. You have to schedule a meeting. It's not always very easy, but these things are there. The Century Tech, the Class Dojo, the Edmondo, EDRAC, Xtep, the Moodle, and all that. There are a few things which are based on the mobile phones. This you can see, I'm not going to discuss this really. Yes. A very important thing for us is this massive open online courses. There are quite a few here, but what I would like to discuss is basically Swayam. Towards the end, there's Swayam, SWAM. This is a course, this is a study group, or it's almost a university by itself, by the MHRD, Ministry of Human Resource Development in India. There are umpteen number of courses, from arts to science and technology and whatever you can think of, to computer science and commerce, whatever. Now, these courses are all free courses. You don't need to pay a fee for this. Only thing you have to pay a fee is for the certificate. If you need a certificate, you have to pay something. Then we have this UK Open University, the openculture.com. More recently, you must have heard of the Udemy and the Unacademy. Number of courses available. Because it's a wonderful situation now that we are not going to the classrooms, sitting at home at our leisure, at our own pace and time. We can learn so many things by all these, IT-enabled softwares we have got. They're the mobile reading applications. You can use any of these. You must have heard of the Kindle. A Kindle is a small device. You can download all your books into it. You can have almost like some 3,000 to 4,000 books. It's almost like carrying a library. You don't need to get a hard copy. You don't have to go to the book library to buy a book. So at your own leisure, at your own pace, and you can get the feel of a book almost. You've got a Kindle, you can enlarge the font size, you can get the light correct, and you get the feel like the way you turn pages, you can turn your pages. And the same thing you can also use in your laptops, you can use your mobile phones or in other devices. This is normally sold by Amazon. UNESCO has talked of other platforms also. Now here we have heard of quite a few already, I believe. Hangouts Meet, MS Teams, Microsoft Teams. Now there's a problem with this, like you have to buy this. Unless you buy this, you cannot use it. There's Skype, there are some limitations. You cannot share the screen or the whiteboard or whatever. WhatsApp has been quite good that way. You can send your audio messages, video messages, or you can, scan your papers. You can send them. You can have conferencing, video conferencing, and audio conferencing. That's helping quite a bit in quite a few places. A lot of schools and colleges are doing this. We must have heard of Zoom. There was a lot of controversy earlier about Zoom. This is being used by maybe 40 to 50 crore of people all over the world, maybe much more by now. Most of the schools and colleges are using this, and we are getting lot of help from this free platform. You can also buy it as well, but for us, we use it as free. Almost near equal to Zoom is the Cisco Webex. Recently, I have attended quite a few webinars from Vishwabharati Library Network with Cisco Webex. They've been very useful. Google Meet, Google Classroom, they're there. TeamLink, I'm not too happy with it really, because I was unable to share the screen. There's a TCS Glassroom. Please check the spelling. It is Glassroom, it's not Classroom. TCS has come out with this. For 1 year, it's totally free. You have to register yourself, and then 1 year later, you have to pay some fees. Coursera, GoToMeet. I have not really checked it. I have installed it into my computer, but I have not really checked it. Canvas, AWS GoBunch. There are a huge lot of possibilities. Now, there are a lot of tools for teachers to create the digital learning content. There are quite a few of these here. You can use quite a few of these if you want. This is extremely important. We got external repositories where you can get a lot of information from. Here. So the e-Pathshala. Now we've got the EPG Pathshala. It's open for us, it's free. The National Digital Library of India is free. The e-Shodh-Ganga, e-Shodh-Shuddhi. Now the Tagore Web. You want to get any poem or song by Tagore or any writing by Tagore, you can go to Tagore Web. Of course, I've skipped two of these. These are West Bengal Secretariat Library, West Bengal Public Library Network. These could be there in almost every state. Gandhi Shavagranashram, Romeo Sherpa. I'll talk about these things a little later, I can say. Free and open source software for education, e-Yantra. Then this National Knowledge Network. I'll talk about this a little later once again. NME ICT, National Mission on Education ICT, has been there for quite a number of years. Initially, they gave us 10 lines for our college. We were supposed to get 10 more. And they also suggested like we could get a mobile tower for us. And lots of possibilities are coming up in NME ICT. Shagun and Diksha portal is very important for CBSE, ICSE students. You get lots and lots of data from there, lot of resources from there. If you have heard of TESS India, TESS. Now in TESS, you get a lot of audio and video resources. You get the written materials. These are totally free. You can download them. You can use them for yourself, for your classes or elsewhere. Now, all these enhance our ability to connect easily with institutions and enhance our access to learning resources. I've talked of this NKN, the National Knowledge Network. It provides high-speed network, which is a backbone to educational institutes in India. Lots of institutes have joined the NKN. The online assessment agencies or private business houses are also improving their products. Considering the limited bandwidth, the social or the physical distancing, by managing the remotely proctored examinations and skilled assessments, basic requirements like sturdy education system, platforms, IT, whatever. Now, for countries like India, this is a good opportunity to strengthen the internet connectivity across rural India. Yes, there could be a question that I've been talking of all these resources, I've been talking of all these IT-enabled resources, all these platforms, but how does a person in the rural setting can get connected? I'll talk of this again a little later. Basically, the government has to take the net to the rural places. That is the first requirement, and we need a good, strong network. Now, according to Dr. Francisco Marmolejo, advisor to Qatar Foundation in India, he said higher education should be redesigned, or I say rebooted or overhauled, I would say. It should be flexible, more innovative, more international, more locally connected, and socially responsible. More collaborative and less risk averse. Innovative models should be introduced. Universities or institutes could be online, providing internet-based flexible offerings. Open universities, traditional learning with hand-on work, collaboration with other schools or colleges. We've been talking about virtual classrooms and various online tools today allow us to make the engagement between the teacher and students as close to real in the classroom type experience as possible. Going forward, these tools can also make the teachers and parent meetings as well as staff management meetings more time and cost saving while providing the necessary interactivity. Now, you must have heard of the OLPC project, one laptop per child. This was a project by Professor Nicholas Negroponte in 2005, a professor of MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. This actually came up 2007. He suggested a laptop at the rate of $100 per laptop per child. Now, in India, there was a problem. We thought like we could give a laptop at much lower cost, but ultimately it backfired. We really couldn't make it. Otherwise, by now, maximum number of students in the rural areas could have got one laptop each. So this has been very cost effective. It has worked wonders in the third world elsewhere. Now that we have got the infrastructure, the cost of infrastructure, that is coming down. We don't need new buildings anymore. What I feel is maybe in the next 2-3 years, we won't be able to go to the classrooms. Not at least in my lifetime, I'm sure. So in that case, we should be more IT friendly. So if you can give each child a laptop or a tab, and if you have a strong internet connectivity, then we can really reach anywhere. So you must have heard of the BBC Micros, which we got in the late 1980s. We started with something. It failed. Yes, a lot of things failed. See, during Rajiv Gandhi's time, Sam Petroda started all these communication facilities for us, the C-Dot. And now we have the digital India kind of concept. So we can give so many things. See, there are some 285 million learners in India. And people, all these students have been affected. This is a near total closure. The pedagogy has changed. We don't read from the books. We've got so many contents now. We've got the laptops, we've got the mobile phones, we've got the tabs, we've got so many possibilities. And once the internet connectivity is there, then we can really go ahead. See, then there is again one more thing. There are no front benchers, there are no back benchers. No gender bias. Everybody has an access. Everybody can sit anywhere. In some schools or some colleges, we see like girls sit on one side, boys sit on another side. We don't have to make any difference. A large number of Indian students, second only to China, enroll in universities abroad, especially countries worst affected by the pandemic. The US, the UK, Australia, and China. Many such students have now been barred from leaving these countries. They cannot come back. They are there. If the situation persists in the long run, a decline in the demand for international higher education is expected. So there is bound to be change from this chalk and talk method to the recent technology-driven model, the EdTech model. We have to make a change, otherwise we really can't cope with the situation. The experts think the conventional mode of education, the digital education, appears to be a viable solution to fill the void for the classroom education. A complete revolution in a way we learn today has been brought about by technology. Each student gets into contact with a world-class education, which is not easy to impart by traditional whiteboard and chalkboard kind of thing. The methods are changing. A multi-pronged strategy is necessary to manage the crisis and build a resilient Indian education system in the long term. This is an ideal time to accept technology and its latest offerings in order to make education delivery to the students more efficient and make it more productive. Going forward, the use of technology in teaching or recruitment will lead to a new era with the best faculty available across the globe to students. Now that I have to get myself admitted into one school or one college or university, now with this digital divide, with this change that has come because of COVID, I can be a student of any university anywhere in the world. And now there are possibilities like I take one course from the home university where I pay my fees, whereas I can do other courses from other universities. And ultimately I get a certificate from the home university. So I can get the best of teachers for me. And as a teacher, I get the whole world open for me. I get students from all over the world. It's not only my own college or my own university or my own school. Basically, we should be able to change ourselves. We should be able to adapt to the situation instead of taking it as a holiday because schools and colleges are closed. If we can think more, if we can really adapt ourselves, if we can learn more, this is the best time to learn. And lots of skills we should be able to learn, because if you remember our ex-president APJ Abdul Kalam, he talked of the skills. More important is learning the skills. So most of us really do not have many skills. So if you have as many skills, because the job sector is really bad, that already we were not getting jobs. Now because of the COVID situation, lots of job cuts are there. People are being fired. People are not getting new jobs. So we should be able to be prepared for the next kind of job, next kind of possibility we have got in front of us. So this is the right time to do our best at the moment. Now suppose we talk of research. In the field of research, there was already some consortiums called ProQuest or Popline. I'm just talking a few of there are lots of them. Now, if you wanted to start a research, if you want to write a review of literature, if you want to get a bibliography, if you could go to those consortiums, you could get a list of books, you could get a bibliography made straight away, you could get abstract of different books or different journals by different authors, which could be used for your, this is exactly what I did for your review of literature. That was so easy, that has become so easy already. Then you have got the gestor. If you're a member of a library, you can really join the gestor. From the gestor, you can get the journals. So for different subjects, there are different kinds of journals or different kinds of books are there, which we can access. That's so easy. Now that the webinar I attended, a series of webinars I attended from Vishwavarti Library Network, I learned so much that these days when you do go for your research, you need to give a certificate. You need to get a certificate from the supervisor. Now, these days, you have to also attach a certificate from Urkund that whatever you have written, your thesis is not plagiarized. That certificate is extremely important before you get your PhD degree. So that you can go to them, you can get your, if you can give your thesis, they'll find out whether it is plagiarized or not. Then when you write your bibliography, whether you write in the MLA style, whether you write in the APA style or some other styles, depending on the department you're from. If you go there, if you go to a Vishwavarti library, they will make sure that it has been written in that style which is required for your discipline. Then you have got to attend, if you can download this Grammarly, if you can yes, you can download Grammarly into your laptop. You can get your grammar checked. You can also get, if you buy it, of course, then you can be sure whether is there any piracy or not. Lot of writing tools are there. Lot of people help. Lot of dictionaries are there. Suppose we talk of the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary. They have got it comes with a CD. They have got in the 8th edition, it's got an iWriter. You know how to write a topic sentence, how to write a paragraph. They'll give you details. They'll keep on helping you till you complete the essay or the article. So there is also an iSpeaker. British Council has got different courses. Similarly, different other organizations have got different courses. Now, the mindset of the policymakers, the mindsets of the students, the mindset of the teachers have to change. That is important. I'm reminding of a small incident in a place called Suri, which I talked of a few days earlier here. It's a small place in West Bengal where primary school, a teacher was teaching with the help of a public address system. She had a mic, she had a microphone, and there was a speaker on the other side, and the children were repeating what the the teacher was saying. So such an innovative idea. And I'm ready to believe that all of us, all the teachers we have got here, all the wonderful teachers we have got who have been participating today here, everyone, we can really find out a lot of different things, lot of different ideas which we can share, which we can really help our students develop. So the developing of the skills, if you talk of the labs, there's a small problem. We do have to go back to some labs. Few laboratories are definitely required where maintaining this physical distancing, we can go there, we can do our work. Not everything can be done through, the net. The YouTube is a wonderful possibility these days. I have personally uploaded lots of videos of the presentation of my students up in the YouTube. You can go YouTube live, you can go Facebook live. There are lots of ways to do it now. Most of our students in colleges, universities, they have a phone, Android phone. Most of them have got access to Facebook or WhatsApp. So very few will be left out. Yes, I'm sorry, I cannot take everybody along at the moment, which is not being possible. But we cannot, education cannot stop. We have to continue our efforts. We have to continue doing things, the good things we have been doing so far. So that cannot be stopped. So, and if the government comes forward, if the government makes internet access free for all, it is, if we have a very good internet activity, internet connectivity in the rural areas, if people have more of these laptops or these devices with the help of which they can access the net. If you remember, we were given Kyans, Kyans, Kyans. A lot of schools were using these Kyans. And because our mindset didn't change, ultimately people stopped using them. I remember when I requested my college to buy an interactive whiteboard. I had to wait for 1 full year to make them understand, the authorities understand the importance of the interactive whiteboard. We couldn't even get the magnetic whiteboards. People don't even know the use of this. So a lot of things which we can do, whatever facilities we have at the moment, we can really work wonders. I don't know how much time I have taken. So far, whatever I have been able to tell you, let us, we shall be able to, I think, discuss more in our talks here. As of now, thank you so much for giving me a patient hearing. Thank you.
It's a wonderful talk. Thank you so much, sir. In this way, I think we actually came to know so many things, because in this pandemic, I think this is a great teacher for all of us to some extent, and those who are not able to use the virtual platform in a better way, in this way they can also able to know that how we can use it, and the proximity of the virtual learning in the true sense. So thank you so much for this wonderful informative session, and sharing your thoughts, your input, and how we can actually able to make ourselves more skilled, more use of our resources in actual way. So I open the forum, open the session for question answer, and if like to ask to you, just unmute yourself and you can answer them. And I already received so many positive feedback on behalf of Dr. Aniruddha Burmon. It's a wonderful discussions actually, and nice presentation with the informations. So anyone would like to ask something to Aniruddha sir? Actually, Rekha Chakraborty would like to say that Calcutta University has recently made available all its online resources to general public, and she already provided a link that is useful to all stakeholders. Thank you so much, ma'am. It's really informative, and definitely in our video that will be uploaded in YouTube, the student can use it properly. So we have some time to discuss. If you would like to say something more on this, you can discuss more about it. If in the meantime, if we have some questions, we'll definitely get back to you. So you can continue. Yes. Aniruddha sir, unmute yourself.
Yeah, thanks to Dr. Rekha Chakraborty. That is a very good addition. Saurabh has also suggested say a few words and give your guidelines for all educators conducting the post-COVID years. Now that is very difficult, because I can only talk of my field. See, suppose I was talking of this Zoom. I'm sorry, because we were using Zoom here earlier for different reasons. For the wrong reasons, we had to really leave, but we were really helped earlier. Now here, so in Zoom, I don't know whether we have got it here also or not. There are the breakout rooms. Now these days, we talk of the brainstorming sessions, we talk of the group discussions. Now group discussions would not have been possible otherwise. Now that we have got the breakout rooms in Zoom, we can send the students there and then they can discuss themselves. So for us, what happens normally, what I find is, we keep on teaching and we're not sure about learning. And because they do not brainstorm, learners do not get a chance to think. So if we can give them a chance to think, then they can learn more. So in the breakout rooms, if they go to the breakout rooms, they can learn a lot. They can discuss among themselves. They can brainstorm themselves, and we can come out of a lot of ideas. That is extremely important. See, a teacher at the moment is a friend, philosopher, and guide. We do not have a frontal teaching anymore. Frontal teaching is not important. What is more important is we are able to guide them, we are able to help them learn. Helping them to learn is extremely important. So far, we have been talking of teaching and teaching and teaching and teaching. And this, no one really likes. And with this possibility now, such a wonderful possibility has come that children can learn for themselves. You know, unofficially, I was trying to help my sister who runs a small nursery school. I just wanted to check. Children are so fascinated just by simple WhatsApp. Students of class 2, 3, 4, even the juniors, they wanted to join. Now they're trying to respond. They've got a new device. Earlier we used to say, no, you don't touch the mobile. Now the mobile is given to them so that they can learn more. So they're with that mobile. They won't allow even their parents to use their mobiles. Even the children of lower classes. Such a wonderful thing happening. I'm sorry, they cannot go out to play. That's the worst possible thing. That I cannot help really. Had that been there, we could have done so many things. But yes, we can organize different kinds of games, different kind of games to teach, learning games. That is important because we cannot allow them, we cannot take them outside physically. That is the whole problem now. Had that been there, that would have been wonderful, but we cannot take the risk. Yes, any other addition that has come? Should the government come forward to ensure the security of participants in web platforms? Could you elaborate, Shankar?
Shankar Pradeep sir, could you please unmute yourself and you can ask directly to Burmon sir.
Shankar, are you there? Security of participants. Is he talking of security of the users?
I think so. I think who are enlisted in, like for Zoom example, if the participants, I think.
Yeah. See, Zoom. If I have to talk of Zoom, there have been a lot of controversy with the Zoom. I had a webinar with them also. I want to find out if there is anything. See, initially, what they are interested in. Private parties are more interested in things which related to the corporate sector, or maybe the defense sector, or the government plannings and other things. For us, that question is not there. If at all, if we are concerned, I would prefer, if you have a laptop, use it from the browser. You don't need to download it. Number one. Number two is, you have to be very sure who is entering your class. We cannot allow others to enter. They have to come with a name. Only those who have been registered, only those whom we know, they should be allowed, and they should initially show their face. That's very important. Later on, they can shut down their video. I don't mind. Then we will not allow anyone to come in without being admitted. That option should be closed. And then, of course, we can lock the meeting a little later. Once the meeting is locked, no one else can come in. So these security features, if we have, at least I have not seen a problem with my laptop or my mobile phone, because my son has been using it for so many months now, the whole day. Nothing has happened. Yes, Zoom only problem is maybe because the bandwidth is more. Some phones may get heated up initially. You might feel, but with laptop that problem is not there at all.
There is a question from Saurabh sir. There's a question from.
Yes, this is a big question about the online exams.
Yes.
I, being a member of Bengal Chess Association, we have seen that a lot of cheating goes on whenever we have got this online chess tournaments. That problem is there. We are facing. Just today also we had one. Yesterday also we faced a few problems. This problem is definitely there at the moment. Yes, but I've seen some colleges who have been giving a kind of a different kind of questions every time. It changes. Basically, these are all multiple choice type questions. Long answer type, short answer type questions are almost forgotten at the moment. Just at the moment, I'm talking of. So that makes it easier for us to check them, but it's make it more difficult for us to make the questions. You must have a big data bank. Big data bank. I would prefer give them an open book exam. If you can give them an open book exam, chances of cheating will be less. No matter who comes in, who helps the student, at least the chances are less. Because I am afraid, if you talk of holding an exam inside the school or the college, I'm afraid myself to go in. UGC has suggested that you can take in different shifts. But my question is, once the first shift goes, shall we be able to sanitize the classrooms, the whole campus, before the second batch comes in? And again, after the second batch, shall we again sanitize it? I have doubts. And then even if we make one person to sit in one bench, talking of this so-called social distancing or the physical distancing, I, as an invigilator, I'll have to go to the examinee, give them the question paper, give them the answer script, sign it, get all those signature sheets back, and then again bring down all those question papers to the principal's place, and then again evaluate them. That is very difficult. Very difficult. We cannot. That can be very risky for us also. So best is possible.
There is a question from Rekha Chakraborty ma'am. Sir, do you think online video classes can ever completely replace regular classroom interaction, and why? And secondly, if we are to conduct online exams, how would that happen?
You are very correct. Very good. Thank you for that question, Dr. Chakraborty. Online classes cannot completely, replace this. But we're helpless at the moment. We're just helpless. We cannot compromise with the security of the teachers and the students. So many students coming in, enter the campus, sit by the side. We just can't think of. Especially when they say, when the ICMR is talking of the fact that in the month of June and July will peak. So this infection might peak, so this will be dangerous. So we have to make some compromises somewhere and think of other issues. Because we have to keep on changing as things change. Conduct online exams, I have already said something. There are, NKC and IITs and NITs, they are thinking of this. Some colleges, some universities are thinking, UGC is also thinking about this. At the moment, I think our state government, West Bengal, they are also thinking on this line. So this, I think we have to wait for the future at the moment. At the moment, I am satisfied at least that we are able to do a bit of a job. At least part of it we have been able to do. Otherwise, I feel really guilty that we were sitting quiet. And thank you also, Dr. Rekha Chakraborty, because you have taken so many classes, wonderful classes, I am told, by students. That was really great. Open book, yes, open book is definitely one of the solutions, yes. Because that The problem is setting the questions. Once you're sure what sort of questions you're setting, then of course, yes. See, it's almost like saying, when I tell my trainees, when you go for your internship, the practice teaching, do not give homework. Because who does the homework? Either the tutors or the parents or some guardian, someone does it. Maybe the student never does it. And why the homework? When the student goes home, the student should be able to play. He should be able to socialize. We are already taking up so much of time. Now, in that case, make a question. I tell them, if at all you want to give, maybe 2 or 3 objectives. Again, it's not possible every day. Make some kind of question which the parents may not know. You may have done something in the classroom which the parents are not aware of, which the tutor is not aware of. Our days we used to have books, notebooks written by Senandas. So Senandas has not, may not have known all this. So that kind of thing, but every day again is not possible. Only a part of it, yes. Yes, thank you. Yes.
It's wonderful discussions, because I personally thank you so much to all that you have, a very interactive session with Dr. Burmon, because he's one of the eminent scholar in the field of education, particularly because he's dealing with the B.Ed courses, and that is the first step to be a teacher. And I think teacher is something that they should act, not to react only particularly in this quarantine period or lockdown period or whatever we are going through, and how we can actually motivate the generation to learn to read books, because I think that is a missing point. The current generation, they are not feel very good to read books, and I think that lack of sense of reading books and attachment of books is one of the biggest challenge for their futures. And because personally I feel the classroom teaching will be back, because there is no option of classroom teaching. We don't have any alternative of classroom teaching. But as Dr. Burmon rightly said, that we actually don't have any option right now. So let's use it properly, use this lockdown situation, and do something together, that how we can actually motivate the generation who are very small. They don't understand that what is going on. Actually, they are missing their peer group, they're missing their friends, they're missing their angry, very angry teacher. And actually they are telling that, a teacher was good. He beated me, he loved me, of course. So I think that's missing point is very, very important, and we have to motivate our small kids for the next period, because COVID after period will be more dangerous.
Yes.
And lockdown will be definitely over, and we have to move on with the new normalcy in the era of COVID, and we have to move on. So I really thank you personally, Dr. Burmon, for these wonderful discussions. And this session will be on YouTube. And I personally request you to share among your students, because your PowerPoint presentation was really powerful. So share the video with your student, and do comment. Definitely have some questions, so they can ask in that chat box, also in the comment box of YouTube link. So I will get back to you, and I will provide your email ID so they can connect you directly with Dr. Burmon. So I'm ending up and wrapping up the session right now.
One more thing, I think, one addition by Saurabh. One small thing I think I may need to add for some. It says like how to connect this distance education system and online education system. Can you see that? Yeah. See, I think if I go back to history a bit, see, initially, because our face-to-face mode of education was not really working at times. Because when I needed to, I have come of age now, I cannot go back. I want to be a student of science. I want to start my high secondary science once again, or BSc. I won't be allowed. I simply won't be allowed. So we started having this correspondence education. I remember there used to be British Institutes of engineering and technology in Mumbai, which there used to have a lot of courses. So that was, you could do it from home. You would get the materials at home. You could write the answers at home, send them, and they would give you a certificate. Now, slowly things changed to distance education. Distance education, where you needed to go to a study center, where you could have the media, where you could have the counselors, not the teachers. Teachers are at the central place. You had their counselors. You could ask questions if you have any doubts, and you can watch those media. Now, slowly things change towards the ODL mode, the open distance learning mode. And suppose I liked paper 1 of history, and I thought that physics, second paper of physics was quite interesting, and third paper of economics was interesting. I could combine. So like universities like IGNOU, Indira Gandhi National Open University, they call it BDP, Bachelor's Degree Program. It's not BA or BSc or BCom. If you wanted to have a BSc degree, you need a minimum number of courses to be done. And then they would have this audio conferencing and the video conferencing. And these facilities will be there in some places. And once the video conferencing facility has come already, it has been there for a long time. IGNOU came in the year 1985, the largest possible university in the world. So in 85, it has already come, and now it's 2020. So things have changed. So this is a part, this is a kind of an evolution of the same thing. We had started earlier, and now slowly we have reaching a kind of a peak, and moving on to another place. I think that's a kind of thing I can say about this online and distance. Thank you for the questions. Yeah, thank you, madam, for giving
so
me
much,
this.
sir. Thank you. Have a nice time, and good night to all of you. We look forward for the next round of discussions that we're going to have on Monday. We have episode 13 with Professor D.K. Sofian. So look forward. Who have already registered, who are interested, they can send me email. So I will send the registration link to all of you. Thank you so much. Bye, sir.
Thank you.